I'm Rajan Datar, and I'm travelling through Japan, going off the beaten track to find out what makes this country so unique.
One thing I realised early on about Japan is that Tokyo is not typical, and nor is the tech and glitz that's normally associated with it. If anything, that is the exception. It's the other stuff I want to explore, the importance of tradition, the love of nature, spirituality, the meticulous attention to detail. So I'm going to dot around the country in search of specific examples of these. I suspect it's going to be an eye-opener.
And I'm beginning my journey here in the small coastal town of Ohara in the Chiba prefecture, just south of Tokyo. I'm here to find out just how important a part tradition plays in modern Japan.
I've been invited to be part of a spectacular ceremony. It's called the Ohara Hadaka Matsuri, which literally means naked festival. And there's a changing room just round the corner. See, luckily it's not quite as naked as I feared. Ah, yes. This is the team colour, and it's apparently made of really expensive silk, so I feel very honoured.
This regional festival, or Matsuri, is all about keeping the local gods, the kami, happy. An estimated 80,000 people flood the village of Ohara from far and wide to witness a grand procession as the kami are carried on a tour in these portable shrines, or makoshi, through the area and down to the sea. But the gods need entertained on the way. The more enthusiastically they're rocked, or even thrown, the happier they'll be.
Can you explain what this ceremony is all about?
神様に祀るお祭りなので、大漁祈願だったりとかっていうのお祭りです。お祭りのために1年に一度必ず地方に行かれてる方とかも地元に必ず帰ってきてこの祭りに参加してるっていうところが一番素敵かなと思います。私は基本的におみこしを担がずに、前の先頭に立って、前の人たちをこう盛り上げるような感じで声をかける。
The procession starts, and I've been given a prime position right by the kami.
Oh, that's a pretty brisk pace. Now, this is a long procession, and not everybody, even the toughest youngest ones, can keep doing it all the way through. So people take turns, they take over when you're tired, and I've got to say, doing this, tiring but exhilarating to be part of this.
It's mid-afternoon, and the teams are gathered for a blessing before the final part of the ceremony.
この大原という地域のそれぞれの里の神様は海の神様、山の神様、町の神様。どうぞ良い漁をさせてください。この里がますます活力を持って繁盛する里でお力をお貸しくださいと。
もうやっぱり神様を運んでるっていうのもあって、やっぱり気合で乗り切っている感じだと思います。
And this is the culmination of the procession, because the Matsuri started as a Shinto thanks and plea for a good catch to the gods. The sea is crucial to Japan's way of life. So what happens here is that thousands of people gather to watch the makoshi go into the water, to rock with the shrines, and to give the gods an entertaining time. They're certainly entertaining me. So we're now 12 hours into this day, and as darkness falls, the celebrations continue. And people have still got amazing energy. It's incredible. And here is the paradox. Because we imagine sometimes, wrongly, that the Japanese are reserved and shy and not very expressive. Well, check this out, and you might change your mind.
I'm travelling to Hiroshima to learn about another of Japan's great traditions.
Food in this country is way more than mere sustenance. In fact, you could even say it's Japan's global calling card. And take this city, Hiroshima, and the story of its signature dish, okonomiyaki. It's a perfect illustration of Japan's resilience.
Okonomiyaki is the classic street food of Hiroshima. It's a kind of layered pancake piled high with all kinds of ingredients. It's become eponymous with the city and the man who's been making it for most of his life, Tomihiro Kawaguchi.
自分が食べてみてね、美味しいお好みでなかったら、お客さんも美味しくないんですよね。だから外国の方がいろいろいっぱい来ますがね、とにかくみんな美味しかったり、グーってこうやってね、帰ってんですよ。喜んで帰ってんですよ。というのは自分はとにかくお客さんが喜ぶ顔が見たい。美味しいです。
Placing his reputation in real jeopardy, he's letting me have a go.
You're laughing at me. There's basically a lot of different layers to this. It's actually quite complex, getting everything in the right order. Hiya! How's that? That's it. That's finished. Ah, well, thank you. I feel honoured to have learnt from you.
But the story of this simple food has many layers.
終戦当時お好みというのは我々は本当あれですよね、早い話がお好みというのは今さっきも言ったように手軽でね、そしてすぐ食べれるというようなことでからこれは大体家庭の玄関先でね小さい鉄板をこう置いてそれはもう復興に本当もう重要な位置にあったですよね。本当これがなかったらそれこそ本当飢え死にした人が本当たくさんおるんじゃないんですかね。
Now you might think I was going to say this anyway, but that is really nice. That is really genuinely very nice. I can see why it actually became more than just a staple diet, more than just, kind of food to keep people alive. This is really delicious. No wonder it's still so popular. Thank you, Mr. Kawachi. It's really good. I've got to say, the emergence of okonomiyaki and the success of Mr. Kawaguchi are really quite uplifting tales, because out of the horrific destruction and crisis of World War II, a new culinary tradition was born, and it's still thriving today.
Next, I want to explore Japan's relationship with nature, and so I've come to the city of Kanazawa for a visit to its amazing park, Kenrokuen Garden.
I've always been fascinated by the meticulous attention to detail that I've witnessed all over Japan, but nowhere is that more evident than here in the city of Kanazawa, where nature meets art.
Ken Rokuen Garden is considered to be one of the most beautiful traditional gardens in Japan. Although in the heart of the city of Kanazawa, you definitely get a sense of being somewhere else, in a strangely idealized version of the natural world. Of course, all this is carefully orchestrated by teams of people, and I want to get a glimpse into what this involves. So I've arranged to meet the head gardener here, Hitoshi Shishime.
まあ、特別名称ってつくぐらいだから、もうこれで時点でもう国宝級、ある意味で国宝なんですよね。庭でいうとこのやっぱり安らぎもあるし、ストレス解消もなるし、緑見とるだけでこれ癒されるし。普通の木はもう切るだけですけど、松は葉っぱむしりがあるんですね。それが大きな違いかなと思いますけど。
And why do you do that?
剪定ってすること自体はもう光を当てるってこと。これを切らなかったら多分懐の枝が枯れて、やっぱりただのつまらない木になりますね。やっぱり人の手が入ってるってことは懐のも枝があるんですね。自然の木はまあ見てもらえれば分かるけど、絶対枝先だけなんですよね、葉っぱあるのは。そしたらそれはつまらないですね。でこれが去年の葉っぱ、これが今年の葉っぱで、これも今年の芽ですから、これは絶対取らないように。でこれも一緒、これが色違うでしょ、わかるかな。で去年の葉っぱをむしる。でこっち作り直すってこともないんだけど、こんなに伸ばさなくてもなるべく形はこの大きさにとどめたいからわしらはどうしても本でも伸びちゃうんだけど、なるべく大きくしないようにって。でも剪定するんだからよりよくしなきゃいけないからね。当然。ちょっとやってみますか。
You separate the new from the old. Okay, these feel or look quite new. This looks old.
そう。
Take out. Yeah.
そう。
Yeah. Well, got it right. Old.
これニュー。
New. Okay.
New.
This yearly hand pruning of the pine trees is apparently done by around 60 gardeners per tree, and I get the sense that that's just one of many, many meticulous processes here.
Would you say that this is natural? Because in a way, you are changing nature. You are making it for you better.
なんちゃうかな、こういうところで兼六園もまた面白いところで、こういう人の手がもうガッチガチに入ってる木もあれば、何も人の手も入らないああいう木もあるし、ね、このコントラストが面白いんだけど、それを自然と呼ぶかどうかとそれぞれじゃないですかね。やっぱりでも生えてるけど、もしかして人の手によって植えたものをそれは自然になるかって言われたら分かんないですからね。
Now that was pretty amazing, watching that fastidious attention to detail. But what it leaves me thinking is, what's the Japanese definition of natural? Is this natural, or is this art? Certainly without Mr. Shishime's craftsmanship, his attention to detail, his pruning, none of this would exist. And we'd all be the poorer for that.
In contrast to that extremely managed, idealised version of nature, there's a resurgent interest in experiencing the beautiful landscape and abundance of national parks that Japan has to offer in a much more direct way.
For some time now, scientists have been analysing the positive effects on the mind and the body of being immersed in woodland. That research started here in Akisawa, and they've given it a special name: forest bathing.
I'm here to join a group of forest bathers, along with one of its preeminent authorities, Dr. King Lee.
Nice to meet you.
But before we can get started, Dr. Lee wants to give me a medical.
So we will check if today the forest bathing can reduce your blood pressure.
Okay. Wow.
実はね、1980年代にテクノストレスが出てきて、それ以来私がやっぱりその森林はやっぱり人間の健康にね重要な役割を果たすと考えて、そして2004年から森林浴の研究をスタートしました。 森林浴は森林の中で散策して五感を通してそれで森林の癒し効果を体験する、活動ですね。そうですね、日本の伝統と歴史と関係あると思います。もともと日本の伝統として、宗教的に言えば日本で神道と仏教両方ありますけれども、両方とも、森がその神様が存在していることを認識しています。それで人々はやっぱり昔からその森林を大好き、自然も大好き、それで、森林浴がね日本の、文化の一部として維持していると思います。
自分がその中の一つだっていうのを感じて歩けるのはただ緑が見えているところとは違うかなという。
心が穏やかになりました。
体が軽くなった感じ、すごく楽な感じ。
What if I said to you, everyone knows that if you go for a nice walk and you breathe in fresh air, you're going to feel better. So what are you proving that's different?
実はね、みんなねそれは経験的に体験しているけれども、ただしね科学的な根拠は全くないですよ。やっぱりその森林浴の効果、もしくはね森林浴の病気予防の方法として活用するにはやっぱり根拠、いわゆるエビデンスが必要です。So we can touch. This is a sense of the touch. So you also can talk
To the trees?
tree.
I love you.
Yeah.
You give me happiness. You protect me from disease. You reduce my stress.
Yeah. I feel very happy with you. Yeah.
Back to the base to find out if all this communing has had any measurable effect on me.
Your blood pressure after forest bathing, you got a big reduction. This is before the forest bathing. This is after forest bathing.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
This is reduce your blood pressure, reduce your heart rate. Good.
Yeah. So there you have it. The results speak for themselves. I'm genuinely surprised by the huge drop, particularly in blood pressure. And yes, 2 hours spent walking in that forest has clearly had a beneficial effect on me.
We end the day with a stunning traditional meal in a local inn, all under doctor's orders, promise.
So this is a final step. For dinner, we will use the sense of taste to finish the forest bathing. It's very important. Local food almost from the forest. So this is a total 5 senses.
Total 5 senses?
Yes.
Wow. Fantastic. And I've got to say, after a day of bathing in forestry, of being all consumed by the wholesome food, all I want to do now is be immersed by sleep.
I've nearly finished my journey through the less well-known parts of Japan, and I'm ending it by coming full circle, by going back to the sea and discovering what a unique relationship the people who live here have with the world around them.
I'm on a small island in an area called Toba, which is home to one of Japan's most unusual communities. A group, mostly women, who over generations have forged a really tight bond with both the sea and nature generally.
These are ama divers, iconic female freedivers who collect seafood, seaweed, and even pearls from the seafloor. It's a centuries-old way of life that's been passed down through generations of women. But today's divers, under threat by all the pressures of modernity, are having to adapt.
Tell me, what is this show about?
海の実演です。養殖真珠してない頃に海さんを使って皆さんお客様に見せてるんです。
Which do you prefer, getting real fish, or would you like doing this and performing to tourists?
本物本物の、はい。
Real thing. It's kind of ironic because for a long time Japan was a homogenous and quite inward-looking society. But it's outsiders, tourists, who are now providing a lifeline for businesses like this. But rest assured, elsewhere there is still some genuine amateur diving going on.
A few miles along the shore in Osatsu, I meet some divers who are still making a living from fishing.
おばあちゃんとでひいおばあちゃんとそれみんな海女さんしてました。同じおばあさんと母とそれでもう今私たちが海女をしてます。私朝は海潜りに行く日はね朝5時に起きます。そしていろんなちゃんと仏様とかいろんなところにお供えをしてはもうずっと潜って1時間半潜ってそれからそれを今度は漁協の方にね全部出すんですね。
Yet these Amma still need to supplement their income by preparing meals for, well, people like me.
How is it different now, diving, to when you first started doing it?
取れるものは本当にみんないろいろ少なくなってますけどねいろいろねノリがあったんですよ私たち子供の頃ねそれが今はないんですよね。
And why do you think that is?
水温海のやっぱり地球温暖化でね。
Do you think amateur diving will carry on?
あると思います。今ねよそからお嫁に来てもね子育てが終わるとね私たちも練習してみようかなって方だんだんと増えてきてます。海女さん知りたいとみんな大札へお呼びにいたら
So, what have I learnt on my travels in search of the soul of Japan? Well, first and foremost, no matter how much technological change or urbanisation or modernisation, there'll always be a deep respect in this country for the forces of nature. That's what religion and tradition have always emphasised, and I don't see that changing soon. The other thing I've learnt is that no matter what life throws at Japan, this country will always bounce back. It's very resilient.